Live na.
Okay, good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon to each one of us. Today is April 5, 2024, when was opening up eligibility requirements conference for the contact ID number, and 24 C is 8001. Before we proceed to this ID, is the ID number, 24 C 8001, we prayer first. And I call to Ma'am may we realize.
In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, amen. Our Father in heaven, holy be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, amen.
Good afternoon again. We acknowledge first the presence here in our office. Individual A. Yumota,
Good afternoon, Madam Vice Chair.
Sir Leandro, good afternoon, sir. Our members. Eric Linawan, good afternoon, sir. Davis Hello, good afternoon. Ma'am Rose Tan, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. Alvin, good afternoon. Our IT, Sir Chi, good afternoon. And we have also the attendance in the program. Princess Pipito, interns, Christine, good afternoon. And also good afternoon to the online viewers and the YouTube channel. Good afternoon. The contact ID number 24C001 is the request for expression of interest for the consulting services of preliminary engineering, detailed engineering of various DPWH projects. The Department of Public Works and Highways Cebu 7th District Engineering Office through its Act 2024-02-009C57 and intends to apply the sum of 5,513,000 pesos only, being the approved budget for the contract in the already received for the payment under the contract ID number 24C8001. The consulting services of preliminary engineering, detailed engineering, various DPWH projects bids received in excess of the EDC shall be automatically rejected at the opening of the financial proposal. And I will give it to the floor to Ma'am Rustan to weigh the Department of Public Works purpose for the submission of eligibility documents for these projects.
Thank you, Ma'am Joy. The Department of Public Works and Highways now calls for the submission of eligibility documents for project, consulting, services of preliminary engineering or detailed engineering of various DPWH projects. Location: Dumanhog, Ronda, Gajan, Malabuyog, and Alegria, Cebu. Objectives: establishment of horizontal and vertical ground controls. Recovery of at least 3 benchmarks established by the Bureau of Coast and Geodetic Survey for vertical ground controls and Bureau of Lands location monuments for triangulation stations for horizontal ground controls. Establishment of 20-meter stationing together with their respective cross sections of 10-meter from upper bump, 20 and a minimum 20-meter wide tributary. Establishment of lot boundaries, existing structures, elevation, and distance from the nearest center line of access road to the proposed site. Computations, planning, and preparations of survey plans to explore the subsurface conditions of the area to provide general data relating to the project, to carry out field standard penetration tests, SPT 63.5 kilogram hammer having a free fall of 760 mm in order to determine the natural bearing resistance of the subsoil for the purpose of design in accordance to ASTM D1586 as standard method of penetration test and split barrel sampling of soils. To obtain disturbed and undisturbed soil samples for carrying out the laboratory tests in order to determine the natural and relevant physical properties of the subsoil pertaining to the site for the purpose of design. Undisturbed soil sample will be taken whenever it is possible to give an outline of the surface and subsoil biology, to analyze the data obtained and give engineering consideration and recommendation on the selection and design of foundation, to describe the process, stages of work to be followed for the conduct of subsoil exploration and determination of engineering properties of soil, to prepare the detailed geotechnical and geological investigation school MPD sites for the preparation of foundation, to be able to provide a detailed subsoil technical report, to design the most effective and structurally sound multi-purpose bridge projects building satisfying the limits of serviceability, fatigue, and fracture, strength, and extreme event, to design the foundation, columns, beams, slabs, trusses, and other members, structural as may be required for each building, to design the most effective and structurally sound flood control projects satisfying the limits of serviceability, fatigue and fracture, strength, and extreme event, to be able to define the design flood level and identify appropriate type of flood control structure, to be able to assess freeboard, length, and type of structure considering highway, geotechnical, structural, hydraulic aspects, to be able to perform backwater analysis due to bridge and or pier, to be able to perform core depth analysis, protection works recommendation and adjust foundation works, to perform rainfall analysis, runoff analysis, flood frequency analysis, hydraulic and hydraulic analysis, to design the foundation, pier, abutment, and recommended bridge protection against storing. For the outputs and deliverables, one set of plotted survey data which shall conform to the standard mapping requirements, computation sheets, field noted, reference location plan maps, list of established benchmarks, complete with technical descriptions, and the final draft plans, cross-sections, and or profile that first be submitted to the director concerned through the authorized representative for final review before finalizing the plans, cross-sections, and or profiles for approval. Such plans, cross-sections, and or profile shall be subject to the approval of the engineer concerned as the case may be in accordance with the approved delegation of authority. The contractor shall submit one set of original in A3 size and 4 sets of print copies of the plans, cross-sections of 10 meter wide and or profile including any maps or plans preferred, used in the conduct of the survey works, together with the corresponding originals tracing, as well as computation sheets, file books, other survey returns, complete with signature of contractor or genetic engineer concerned, the list of the survey instruments, material and equipment lent to the contractor or purchased by the same, in any use during the conduct of the survey works, should be submitted for verification purposes. Final geotechnical investigation report and geotechnical design report in 3 sets or copies to be submitted upon completion at the end of the duration of the services. Incorporating the following: borehole location plan with coordinates and elevations, depth of boreholes, soil stratigraphy, soil parameters, allowable bearing capacity, anticipated settlement, rock quality designation, shear wave velocity, liquefaction potential, recommended foundation type, electronic copy of drawing in DVD including borehole login, DPWH format, structural analysis, and design incorporating the following: design criteria, strength limits or extreme event limit or service limit or fatigue limit, material specifications, foundation type and design of girder, reinforced concrete or steel, span arrangement, electronic copy of structural analysis in design in DVD including plans and cross sections detailed in DPWH format, final hydraulic and hydrologic analysis incorporating the following: ordinary water level or normal water level, maximum flood level, design flood, check flood, design flood level, ultimate level limit state flood, electronic copy of hydraulic and hydrologic analysis and structural analysis and design in DVD, including plans and cross sections detailed in DPWH format.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Rose. And we open the again. Documents of terms. As a certificate.
Good afternoon, Madam Vice Chair. Before opening the submitted documents from firms for this specific consultancy contract, may I present the
No, sir.
short criteria for this shortlisting
Nothing, sir.
process. So for our shortlisting process, the main criteria, or we have at least three main criteria in the evaluation. And these are as follows. For part one, we will be evaluating the experience of the firm that corresponds to 60 points. Second part, we will be evaluating the availability of required personnel of the firm. That should be maximum of 10 points. And the last part of criteria is the evaluation of the current workload relative to the capacity of the firm, which corresponds to a maximum of 30 points. So all in all, part 1, 2, and 3 of the criteria, 60 plus 10 plus 30, so maximum rating that a consultant can gain during this shortlisting process is a total of 100%. So, Madam Vice Chair, may I proceed now the evaluation of the first part for the experience of the firm?
Yes.
Madam Vice Chair, we have here the evaluation of the first or part one of our shortlisting. So for the experience of the firm, so short discussion, the score for this criteria shall be based on the similar work experience on completed consulting assignments, local or overseas. So the project with the biggest consultancy cost shall be considered in the evaluation maximum of that project. So based on our official guidelines, the evaluation of the experience of the firm, which will have a maximum 60-point weighting. So we must first identify the total score or the TS that corresponds to the number of similar experience of the firm or any of its permanent technical personnel of the bidder. So can you show the evaluation first, the first part of the criteria? So for the first part, we are to identify the score or one, which is in basic formula is equal to 0.6 plus 4 divided by 30 times the TS divided by 10 minus 1 times 60. The TS here is the total score, which corresponds to the number of similar experience of the firm. So in this case, the submitted documents by terms, they have presented at least 34 projects based on its experience of the firm. So kindly fill in the information or the figure score please. It corresponds to 34 projects. Okay. So this gives us for part one experience of the firm. Score is equal to 55.2%. So, Madam Vice Chair, we now move on to the second criteria for the shortlisting, focusing on the availability of the required personnel of the firm. May I, Madam Vice Chair?
Yes. Okay, go on.
Okay, for the availability of the required personnel of the firm, the consultancy or the consultant may have a maximum rating of 10 points. The score has a formula which is equal to 0.6 plus the PF value times 0.4 times 10. So the PF corresponds to the personnel factor. So that means the ratio of the number of permanent technical personnel to the number of required personnel of the TOR. So we will now evaluate the number of permanent technical personnel of the consultant from the terms versus the number of required personnel based on our TOR.
So,
Alright, Madam Vice Chair, for the second criteria, availability of required personnel of the firm, maximum of 10 points. So to identify the PF value, so we must identify the ratio of the NP over NT. For NP, that corresponds to the number of permanent technical personnel of the bidders. And for the NT, that corresponds to the number of required technical personnel as indicated in our TOR. So based on the submitted eligibility requirements by firms, the number of permanent technical personnel of the bidders based on the submitted documents is equal to 23. Yes, Madam Vice Chair, and as to the number of the required technical personnel as indicated in our TOR is also equal to 23. Therefore, the ratio or the PF value for this submitted documents by terms is 23 over 23, which is equal to 1. Therefore, substituting the PF value in our score 2, which is equal to the sum of 0.6 plus PF value times 0.4 multiplied by 10. So substituting the value of PF, which is equal to 1, therefore, substitute 0.6 plus 1 times 0.4 times 10. Right. For our score, or for the second criteria, we have the maximum points. No? Terms acquired the maximum points equal to 10 for this specific criteria. So, Madam Vice Chair, can we now proceed to the last criteria for the shortlisting requirements, which corresponds to the current workload relative to the capacity of the consultant. Right. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. So for this third criteria, current workload relative to capacity corresponds to 30 points. It is subdivided into two main components or sub-criteria, which corresponds to, first, we will evaluate the ongoing projects. So for this ongoing project, maximum points that can be acquired is 20 points, depending on the number of ongoing contracts, government and private. So these are the criteria. You will have a rating equal to 100% if you have no or zero ongoing contract. If you have an ongoing contract ranging from 1 to 5, you will have a 90% rating. If you have ongoing contracts from 6 to 10, you will have a rating 70%. And if you have ongoing contracts more than 10, you will get at least 50%. So that's represent for our, actually the formula is your rating times 20, because maximum points is 20 points. For this sub-criteria. For the second sub-criteria, which corresponds to the financial capacity. So the maximum points that can be acquired for this sub-criteria is 10 points. So for the financial capacity, we will just evaluate the ratio between the average of total net worth within the 2 years versus the cost of the approved budget for the contract. Okay, so we will now look at the documents submitted by terms to evaluate the first sub-criteria, which is the ongoing projects. Madam Vice Chair, as submitted by terms and as evaluated, they have at least one ongoing contracts. The project is under the technical investigation for the proposed construction of flood control structure along Cagayan River, Barangay Alibago to Baligatan, Province 1, Bigan City, Isabela. So, this pertains to another consultancy services. The date of award is on March 11, 2024. And the type of consulting services which is similar to this contract is the technical investigation with a project cost of 603,000 pesos. The start date is on March 19, 2024. Awarded but not yet completed. So this qualifies as the ongoing project government. So looking at the table, considering that terms only had a one ongoing project, so we might give them a 90% rating. So 90% of 20 points. How much is that? 90. It's equivalent to 18%. All right. So, Madam Vice Chair, that's the acquired points by terms for the first sub-criteria. We now proceed to the second sub-criteria pertaining to the financial capacity of the firm.
Okay.
So we will evaluate the average of total net worth within the 2 years, succeeding years, versus our approved budget for the contract or ABC. Madam Vice Chair, for the average of total net worth within 2 years for terms based on the submitted documents, they had an average total net worth of, for the year 2021 and 2022, they have a net worth of 23,700,000 368 and 50.5. Again, 23,700,000 368 and 50 pesos, 50 centavos. So for the ABC, which is given, the ABC for this contract is amounting to 5,513,000 pesos. So substituting the values in the formula, we will get a financial capacity of at least 4.3. Right. So meaning financial capacity times 10. So you will get financial capacity of 42.99 or 43. But of course, the the maximum allowable points that you can get from this criteria is 10. So, over and above. No? So, we might adopt 10.
Thank you.
10 points for this criteria. So, for the total score of this third main criteria, current workload relative to capacity. So therefore, our score from sub-criteria A and plus sub-criteria B, so can we substitute 18 plus 10? So we have a generated score of 28 points for the third criteria, right? 28 points. So all in all, of course, we add the score generated from the score or the first criteria, the second criteria, and the third criteria. For the first criteria, terms get a score of 55.2. So plus the score on the second criteria, which is maximum of 10, plus the third criteria score is equal to 28 points. So all in all, so terms has a total score gain during this shortlisting, a total of 93.2%. So Madam Vice Chair, as an overall evaluation, terms concrete testing has a total score of 93.2%. Therefore, they passed the shortlisting we are having. Madam Vice Chair.
Okay, again, any clarification? In the okay, okay, the opinion is approved is
Next week, right?
After shortlisting, bibigyan ka, di ba? April 12, then opening April 24.
okay. The opening of the reading is April 12, 2024 at 10 a.m.
Yes, sir.
And then the opening of bids is April 24 at 10 a.m. Okay, it's already done, so no questions, so our shortlisted able to join. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam Vice Chair.
Wait sa mama, wala pa na end.